Hello, we are live. Okay, we are live, and we will be discussing the latest news in immigration. So basically, we are talking about the latest news in immigration, what's going on. Um, has been a long time, huh? Yes, we are live. We are going to be discussing the latest news in immigration. You can hear my voice is gone because I had a flu. Um, now that I'm getting better, so you have to bear with me as we talk about the latest news in immigration. Good morning, Reddy. Good morning from Florida. Yes, Lucy, what mom? Thanks, Lucy. How are you? Long time, huh? Good morning, good morning, good morning. So we are going to be discussing the latest news. You can see my voice is gone, right? I'm trying my best because I'm a little like I had a flu, but now I feel better. So all is good. So, but the voice is a little bit shaky. But we're gonna talk about immigration because we really have to catch up because a lot is going on, a lot. Yes, I had a flu, really. Losako Lukengo, how are you? So anyway, let's talk about immigration. Then I'll get some questions. You can hear my voice is gone, right? So I'm doing my best. You have to bear with me. We talk about the latest news. Then I'll take some questions. Then we'll discuss what next, what to do. People who need a consultation, they can always schedule it for next week. Um, Hello, Danson Modesta. Hello, how are you? Yeah, so let's get right into it. I'm going to share the screen. A lot is happening. And this administration is putting a lot of programs, which it is good, but they don't follow through with any of those programs. We have humanitarian parole that we applied since last year. Still, we haven't gotten a response yet, but they keep putting out there a lot of programs going on, but let's just go one by one, okay? So, okay, let me share my screen. So we're gonna share the screen. Okay, so yes, okay, so we have this one. Launch of the Welcome Court private sponsorship of refugees. Okay, this came out about January 19, 2023. So, what Biden and his administration is saying that while they are encouraging people, private citizens, to sponsor refugees. Okay, that's what this program is all about. Private a citizen, U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident who feel like they want to help out, they can sponsor refugees in the U.S. Okay? So the Department of State, in collaboration with the Department of Health and Human Services, is announcing the Welcome Corps, a new private sponsorship program that will enable Americans to sponsor refugees arriving to the U.S. refugee admission program. Okay, directly support the resettlement and make a difference by welcoming these new neighbors into their communities. This program invites Americans to be partners and guides to refugees as they build their new lives in the United States and help them realize their full potential. Okay, so basically, Americans. A mistake. I talked about lawful permanent resident, but Americans. Okay, the Welcome Corp is the boldest innovation in refugee resettlements in 4 decades. So they're trying to basically copy some other programs in Europe that do the same thing. So yeah, so basically, private citizen, U.S. citizen, of course, can sponsor refugees to the refugee program. Okay, so what is the goal? The goal is to mobilize at least 10,000 Americans to step forward as private sponsor and offer a welcoming hand to at least 5,000 refugees from around the world. Okay, yeah, so that's what the program is. Okay, so basically that's what they're trying to do. By launching the Welcome Corps, we build on a proud tradition of providing refugee and demonstrate the spirit and generosity of the American people. So that's the program. Well, you have to go to this website to learn more about it. Okay, you gotta go to this website to learn more about it. But basically, in conclusion or in summary, is that, well, they're inviting private citizen, U.S. citizen. I know at the beginning I was talking about U.S. citizen and lawful permanent resident. No, U.S. citizen, okay, to sponsor refugee. So basically, to take the initiative to sponsor refugees to the refugee program admission. So that's one of the program, okay? Then we have, if you go here, this is humanitarian parole, okay? Process for Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, and Venezuelan. This is humanitarian parole. So what it is that if we have a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident who want to sponsor either an immediate family member or a national coming from this country, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela, they have to fill out the form I-34A, okay, to request to be supported and declaration of financial support. So it's humanitarian parole. The way it works is you have to have, you want to sponsor basically someone who's outside of the country, right? And ideally they come from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. They might be your immediate relative, or they're just national from that country. But you are here, you have either a U.S. citizenship or a lawful permanent residency. That way you sponsor that person by showing that you're going to support them financially. That's what the sponsorship of this humanitarian parole is. And the person is going to be admitted to the U.S. on a 2 years basis, okay? And they'll get a work permit, they'll work, and it can be renewed. If the requirements are still met, they can renew it after 2 years. So that's humanitarian parole. But just notice this, right? Case by case basis. Eligible beneficiary must have a supporter in the United States, undergo a clear, robust security vetting. They're going to check, background check, meet other eligibility requirements, and warrant a favorable exercise of discretion. This is the part I'm talking about. Case by case basis. It doesn't mean because somebody has some financial, they can just support. It's going to go case by case basis. And then they're talking about who can be the supporter, okay? U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident, or a lawful status in the United States, such as temporary protected status or asylum, or be a parolee or recipient of a deferred action or deferred enforced departure. This program here specifically, okay, you can either be a U.S. citizen, you can be a lawful permanent resident, you can even be a TPS holder, okay, or an asylum, you have an asylum status, like already granted, or you are parolee or recipient of deferred action, for enforced departure. You can have those type of status and be able to sponsor somebody from Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Cuba. Those 4 countries. Those are the requirements. Pass security and background vetting, demonstrate sufficient financial resources, you see. So, and then you fill the form, this form, and 131 form exactly. So the thing that I wanted to stress out about here is like the status of the sponsor right here, right? So not only you can have a lawful permanent residency, you can have a U.S. citizenship, or you can have a TPS protected status, or you can have a, especially for people who have TPS, right? You see, remember the last time they got here, they have TPS. Now they're trying to see if the families back home, they can get their family. Well, this is where you can step in and file for this. But remember, it's case by case basis. Last year, we filed for some humanitarian parole. We haven't got the response until today. So that's what I'm saying. This administration, they like to put out, they like to put out programs out there, but following through with those programs, it's always a problem. So anyway, this is good. Well, if somebody feels qualified, they can do it, right? And then we have, yeah, this, I wanted to share this one too. This one is ICE releases thousands of migrants affected by the data breach. Remember, we talked about it a long time ago when we talked about ICE, by mistake, put up out actually names and address of some asylum applicants. So in order to remedy that situation, pretty much they have released some people, right? Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials have released nearly 3,000 immigrants whose personal information, including birth dates and detention location, was inadvertently posted online by the government. So they had to come up and release them from the detention center, and now they can apply for asylum, even though they were not qualified before for asylum. Now they can apply for asylum. And those who actually were already deported, they can seek readmission, okay? That's some type of remedy that ICE is trying to work out with those affected. So if you know somebody who's affected, this is how they have to really take advantage of this situation, okay? You see, late November, official accidentally posted to the agency website the names, birth dates, nationalities, and detention locations of 6,252 immigrants who claimed to be fleeing torture and persecution. Immigrant advocates criticized the disclosure, saying it could put people at risk. So now what they're doing, they're releasing them from detention, and they can apply for asylum, even though some were not qualified for asylum. And if among those people some were already deported, they can seek readmission to come back to the US to claim asylum based on this fact alone, okay? So yeah, if you need counseling, again, you know what to do. You just call my office, 202-751-2180, or you can schedule a consultation, okay? So yeah, then we go back here. I'm trying to, some news here, right? Okay. Yeah, let's get to some news. Yeah, so EB1 and EB2 petition. So basically they have a premium processing now for EB1 and EB2 petitions. There's premium processing, and then there is future expansions for F1 students seeking OPT, and certain student and exchange visitors. So premium processing for EB1, EB2, which means that you pay additional fees, then they process your case within 15 days. That's it. But you have to pay them extra fees. Somalia has been designated for temporary protected status again. Yeah, and this one, a new process for Cuban Haiti, that's what we just already talked about. Location of I-730 has been changed, the filing location. And then we have new fees. Again, they have new fees in March. The fees are going up for filing. If you have your filing between now and end of February, that's when you do your filing, because the green card application is really going to like almost like $300 more. That's a lot. And then Yemen was redesignated again for temporary protected status. Okay, let me stop sharing and then get some questions. Okay, questions. Now let's get into some questions. Okay. Okay. Modesta, hi Modesta. Since you're here, yeah, it has been a long time because I was sick. I had a flu, pretty much like I was like my voice was gone and all that, but I'm good. Good morning, Sam Kamal. Good morning. Ivan Petrovich. No, there's nothing coming up. I don't see anything. Yeah, I'm happy to see you too, Sam. If anyone who is on asylum pending case in the US are eligible for this program, no, you have to have asylum already granted, ready. Asylum must be granted in order to benefit from that program. What about DACA? No, they didn't talk about DACA. They just said if you have US citizenship, lawful permanent residency, TPS, defer action for departure, that's like people from Liberia has that, or asylum that has already been granted, yes. Can my son visit while pending I-30? Well, the question is, are they going to give Lucy or mom? Most of the time when somebody is an intended immigrant, like the petition is pending with USCIS, it's really hard to convince the consulate to give them a visa. They can try, but are they going to give them? I doubt it. Like chances are slim. That's what I'm trying to say. But it doesn't hurt to try. Lucy or mom, they can try. Is work permit renewal fee will raise also? I didn't see. I don't think so. I didn't see that part. I saw a lot of fees being raised, but I didn't see a renewal for work permit. The only thing we can do, right, is when the time comes, it's gonna be in March. Before you file, you just go to the calculator. I'm gonna show it. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen again. So when the time comes, right? Yeah, when the time comes, you just go to USCIS fee calculator, right? You just put this and see renewal, depending on what refugee or asylee, C8, most people C8. Yeah, right now it's 410. So when the time comes, right, you just go and check, calculate your fees. So stop sharing. So yeah, anytime you want to apply, just go to the fee calculator and calculate your fee and apply, because these are fee scheduling is going to change by March, because the comment period is until March. So it's going to change by March. Sometimes beginning of March, yeah. Questions? Any more questions? If we don't have questions, then we are done for today. So a lot of programs are out there for certain people, okay? Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela, right? So if somebody is qualified to sponsor somebody on humanitarian parole, they can apply case by case basis. Then we have this new refugee program encouraging U.S. citizens. That's for U.S. citizens only to sponsor refugees. But for humanitarian parole, for those 4 countries, you can have a TPS hold. You can be a TPS holder. You can have asylum granted. You can have a deferred action granted for enforced departure granted. You can have lawful permanent residency, U.S. citizenship. Yes, you can apply for it to sponsor somebody from those 4 countries. You're welcome. You're welcome. You'll get that Bharat. So if we don't have questions, since I'm sick, so I just wanted to catch, like, pretty much like talk about what's really going on, because there's a lot of going on. So I wanted to really talk about it. How long gonna exist TPS? Is there any hope that one day we'll get green card? Well, Ivan Petrovich, I don't know. I hope so, but I don't know. Oh, thanks. You're welcome, Takim. Yeah, as long as with this Biden administration, right, they're still gonna renew those TPS. But if in 2024 Trump comes back, I hope not. But if Trump's come back, he's gonna just stop all those TPS because that's his goal. He already made it clear. And so, but as long as this administration is there, they're gonna do TPS. They're gonna do those programs. If somebody qualified, they just have to take advantage of those programs. That's it. That's the only thing people can do. So yeah, thank you very much. So we wanted to catch up with those immigration, right? So what's going on? We have a lot of programs going on, the refugee programs, the humanitarian parole for Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, Nicaragua. And then we have those all other previous programs for Afghanistan, Ukraine, and all that. That's like long time ago. If you go to uscis.gov, that's when you see all those things that's happening. Then we have ICE trying to remedy the situation for asylum applicants where their information were outside there in the open. So they're trying to like really compensate. That's why they released people from detention center, and so that people can apply for asylum. But we know processing time for asylum is no joke. It's like forever. So if somebody is ready to sue, it's time to do it. 5 years, 6 years, 7 years waiting for asylum, USCIS to decide, well, that's unreasonable. So if someone wants to sue USCIS, well, they're welcome to do it so they can get some type of resolution, I guess. So Hamed, good morning. How are you? So, any update for F4 category family? Did you check the how do you call it? Did you check the visa bulletin? You have to check the visa bulletin. I don't think there's any update. You just check the visa bulletin. That's when you know. It's Ayuk. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, your name is too long. It's hard. But anyway, if I mispronounce it, my apology. So Ayuk. So it's better for me to spell than mispronounce it. But anyway, so you're welcome. What do you mean by BFD? Martha Kamundi. What is BFD? I'm not sure what is BFD. Bona fide what? Work permits under what? Under what petition? Martha Kamundi, can you please describe BFD? I'm not sure what it is. Martha Kamundi, can you please what is BFD? Because work permit, you get work permit, advance parole if you have like a asylum pending with USCIS, green card pending with USCIS. If somebody's in removal, I don't advise them to get advance parole because it might get tricky to come back. So TPS holder, yes. DACA recipient, yes. Oh, under U visa, bona fide determination under U visa. No, don't do it. I mean, you can get it, but don't do it. U visa, don't try to go outside. Mm-mm. Don't do it. It's not advisable. That's how I'll put it. Yeah, don't try it. You might apply and get it, but don't even try to go outside of the country when you have your U visa still pending. Just get your work permit, that's it, and work until you get your visa approved. Then you apply for your green card. Once your green card application is pending, then you can apply for advance parole. But under U visa only, no, don't do that. You'll be stuck outside. By the time you come back, it's a long story. Yeah, so but anyway, Martha, my answer is no. Don't get advance parole and leave the country when you have a U visa pending. Even if the U visa is approved, you have to have your green card application pending with USCIS. Then you can apply for advance parole and leave. Don't do it with just a U visa pending or approved. It's not a good idea. Usually, people who get advance parole or people who like you asylum pending, which I discourage them. But people who has a green card pending, TPS holder, DACA recipient, um, but people in removal and people with U visa, no, don't do that. It's not good. Ivan, you have a question. Just post your question. Oh, visa bulletin for F4 category, no movement until 2 years. Yeah, just wait. You know those F4, uh, like those categories. It really just take time, you know. And there's nothing you can do because that's their processing time. If it was just like a regular visa, then you can sue for unreasonable time. But because it's under those specific category, really, there's nothing much you can do. Marta, you're welcome, Marta. Ivan Petrovich, if you have a question, just post it there. Ivan Petrovich, do you have a question? Just post it before we. Oh, okay. Oh, Ivan Petrovich, when it comes to employment base, right? If you overstay the visa under employment base, um, where, Yeah, basically employment based, right? Your unlawful stay has to be less than 180 days in order for the employer to the employer can petition for you, but in order for you to adjust status, it's not going to work, right? Then they're going to ask you to get outside. So, but the good news is if you have TPS, well, you can get outside and come back because you have a travel document under TPS. So if the employer apply for you and it gets granted, and adjustment in the US is just not going to work because wherever you have to have a parent or a spouse, lawful permanent resident or US citizen in order to apply for the waiver of unlawful presence and get out still, right? But in your case, you have TPS and you have advanced parole under TPS, which means you can travel outside of the US. So if the employer petitions for you and it get approved, what you can do is go get your visa outside with your travel document. The only thing you have to do is monitor your travel document expiration date so that you can be able to come back. That's it. But if you don't have 245I, it doesn't cover it. If employment based, if you don't have 245I, you did more than 180 days of unlawful presence, you're out of luck. But you're not really out of luck in your particular case because you have the ability to get out based on travel document to under TPS. You see how you can play this thing out and just hope that it works. Ivan Petrovich, did you get my answer? Ivan Petrovich, you have asked that question before. I keep answering that question for you all the time, but I don't understand why you keep asking that question. I told you if you have TPS and travel document, try to get an approved petition under employment base and then just go do consular processing outside. That's it. You're welcome. The only thing you have to do is monitor your travel documents so that you're going to see how long you're going to stay outside. Because if you have travel document and TPS, you're always going to come back as long as the travel document is valid and the TPS is valid. So those are the only thing you're going to have to play around and monitor. But adjusting inside of the US, it's not going to work because of unlawful presence unless you have 245I or waiver for a parent or spouse, but still the waiver is going to require us to go out once the waiver is granted. So anyway, I guess we're done for today. We have answered your questions. Please share this video. Please follow me on Instagram. Comment if I didn't get to your question, just comment. A lot's going on. If you want a consultation, again, you can always schedule your own consultation. So thank you very much. We just wanted to make sure that Ivan Petrovich, you have to look at well, you can H1B, it's good, but EB3 it's good too. EB3, because H1B it's like it's based on luck, right? So they play the lottery. If you win the lottery, then you get selected, stuff like that. But you can go with EB3. Just look at the requirement USCIS under EB3. Okay. So EB3 is yeah. Just ask your company to sponsor you for a green card. What they're gonna do under EB3 is file the form I-140. Once the I-140 get approved, then USCIS is going to send it outside NVC outside the country. So that's when you go get your visa. EB3 is best. H1B is just like, well, maybe you get lucky, maybe not. You know, it's a lottery. It's based on luck. It's not based on merit. You're welcome. So let's stop for today, and we'll catch up later. Okay. Let's continue the conversation. You're welcome, Baha. On TikTok, Instagram, private Facebook, on YouTube. Share, subscribe. Until next time. Bye bye.